Hey guys, Ron Lyons here with Lyons Tactical, and today's video is maybe one of the more challenging or difficult videos to do. There's very few subjects that are as difficult to talk about as what you do after the job, meaning what do you do after you are no longer officially in law enforcement? And that's a very, very tough deal. It was tough for me. It's been tough for so many people that I know, but that's the topic today, and we're going to kind of tackle that. And here's the good news. There is life after law enforcement, and it's probably better than you think it is. So the subject of rolling out of law enforcement and rolling into some other profession can be scary for sure, and that's kind of odd because as cops, as law enforcement officers, we're not typically afraid of a whole hell of a lot, or we wouldn't do that job. But there's something about your identity, and whenever you become a cop, it becomes like a part of you. And I mean that about like any type of law enforcement. It doesn't have to just be like, you know, patrol officer or traffic officer or something like that. Any sort of law enforcement, the job kind of defines you. And it's one of those unique professions where you just get so ingrained with the job that imagining yourself doing anything else just seems nearly impossible. So in my case, while I was a patrol officer, I actually became involved in fitness. Now, I don't look like the fitness guy today, but we're talking about a long time ago. I actually do something different today. Obviously, I own a tactical supply, but I also do something else I'm going to tell you about in just a second, something that it seems like a lot of cops work their way into. Now, when I was in law enforcement, I started out as one of those kind of average, overweight police officers that, you know, you eat in your car, you don't do a whole lot of fitness, and, you know, well, you're familiar with the deal. You may even be one of those people. And if you are, just as a side note, change that. Don't be that person. But I got into a daytime DWI arrest and went to assist another officer. And during that time, the family of this person that was under arrest for DWI actually came out in droves from these apartments that were close by. And there was this big giant fight on the side of the street. So it was me, the other officer, the tow truck driver, citizens were stopping to help, and it was this big melee, this big free-for-all going on the side of the road. And I remember rolling my guy over that I was actually dealing with and putting handcuffs on him and thinking, I'm gonna die right now. My heart was pounding so hard in my chest, I just thought, this is it, it's all over. And it was all because of my lifestyle choices. It was from being too overweight, too out of shape, not active enough, and things like that. So, you know, I knew how to do the job well, but I wasn't in great shape. So I decided right then and there to change, and when I did, I ended up losing a ton of weight in a short amount of time, and the department actually sent me to get my personal trainer certification because they thought, if you can do this for yourself, then you could probably help other cops do the same thing. Well, that is what kind of opened the door for me when it was time for me to roll out of law enforcement. I had specialized training in something that, something I enjoyed, something I liked, and that was fitness. So what I can tell you is that along about 3/4 of the way through your career, if you know what that is, so let's say you're a 20-year person, you've got a mandatory retirement in 20 years, or that's just your target date. When you hit around your 15th year, that's when it's time to get very serious about what you're going to be doing afterwards. Now, if you wait until your last year, or if you wait until a surprise happens and you get involved in some sort of a bad deal and you get your walking papers, you're going to be stuck and you're going to be forced to figure something out real quick. So it's best to avoid that if you can help it. In my case, the fitness was the option. And what I did is I went and opened up a series of small personal training gyms, and I did that for a long time. Now, let's fast forward just a little bit, because as I said, I don't look like the fitness guy today. During the time that I was actually doing the gym, I actually had a really substantial back injury. I had a Smith machine fell on me and crushed one of my vertebrae, and it has completely changed my life in the sense that, you know, there's no more lifting weights and handing them to people. There's no more running for me. Hell, I have a hard time standing sometimes. Doing this video is tough, but that's just the nature of a back injury like that. So that changed that path pretty quickly. And so what I did from there is I went into something that I had done even before law enforcement, which is real estate. And I still do real estate today. Now, you know me as a person who owns a tactical business, and I do, but I also do real estate. So, you know, Brad, the guy that's in a lot of my videos with me, he is actually in mergers and acquisitions. He helps people sell small businesses. So he did a full career in law enforcement, both as a local police officer in the Dallas area and as an ATF agent for many, many years. Did lots and lots of different things. He's rolled out of that. Now he works at Lyons Tactical. He's also in mergers and acquisitions with businesses. So that's kind of the idea. You can have other things. You can have a life beyond law enforcement. There are so many other things that you can do. You just have to kind of be prepared for that. Be willing to roll with the punches in the event that some punches get thrown your way, and utilize the things that you've learned in the past to help you move forward. So in my case with the gym, it was easy because like I said, I lost all the weight, I got myself in great shape, and I had a passion for that. So it was very easy for me to continue doing that with other people and turn that into money. Once I had the back injury, I had to find something else. Real estate was something I had done before, and what I did is I utilized my skills in doing negotiations and my command presence in order to give me a real edge in real estate. So let me tell you, a lot of people in real estate, they don't like to have conflict. They don't even know what it means to negotiate. So here I am, this old cop that's rolled out of the job, and now I'm a real estate agent. Guess what? My command presence, my negotiating skills give me a huge advantage when it comes to real estate. So I'm still doing real estate now, but here's the thing. As I've done real estate, I miss the job. I miss the law enforcement. Chances are good that you will too. So I wanted to have a way to still be connected with the whole culture that was such a big part of my life for so many years. And that's when I decided to start Lyons Tactical. So what I do now is I'm very engaged with so many people who are still in law enforcement, military, people who just love and appreciate that whole tactical and survival lifestyle. And it gives me a way to be very, very connected with that entire culture. So do I miss the job? I miss it tremendously. There's very, very little as satisfying as doing good police work. I mean, it was the thing that I was best at. I was a really, really good fitness guy. I'm really, really good in real estate, but I was an excellent cop. Chances are good that that's going to be your story too. If you're watching this, and if this means something to you, that means that you're probably really good at the job. But you do need to realize that there's a life after the job. So many people, we've heard about it, we've seen it, and unfortunately sometimes it has really, really bad endings. But when you lose the job or quit the job or retire, your life is not over. So you need to do some practical planning and get yourself set up to have that second career, or maybe third, or even fourth. Like in my case, I've done so many other jobs since then, and every one of them I love. 2 of them I still do. So here's the thing. Whenever it comes time for you to do your planning for the future, if there's a skill that you need, you want to start getting that while you're still in law enforcement. That may mean going to night school, That may mean studying for a real estate license and getting your real estate license. It could mean learning or getting back into construction or a trade or something like that. But you need to start prepping for that, taking the classes, getting the training, getting the exposure to whatever it is that you think you might want to do before you actually need to use it. In other words, before you actually get to the end of your time in law enforcement, you need to have already figured out generally what direction you're going to head and start getting the training, the education, and etc. before you actually have to have it. If you wait, like so many people do, until the very end, and then you decide you're just actually going to retire, then you get bored, now you're scrambling to find something to do with your time. That's not a fun situation. Nobody that I know that's been in that situation loves it. There's still clearly a path through that to get yourself to where you need to be, but that's just not the very, very best method of attack on that particular issue. So I would recommend getting your education, getting your training, figuring out what you want to do before you actually need to do it, and start doing things to get yourself there. Leverage everything you know right now. You have command presence as a cop. You have negotiating skills. You maybe have really good people skills. Maybe you're very, very big in community policing. Maybe you've worked, most of your time as a school resource officer or something like that. Maybe you're really, really good with kids. There's so many different things you can do after law enforcement, but you need to leverage what you did in law enforcement in order to be the best at whatever you do next. Anyways, guys, that's going to wrap it up for today. I just want you to know that it is possible to have a fantastic and satisfying life after law enforcement. And here's the thing. You'll never stop being a cop. I'll never stop being a cop. I may not pin that badge on every day, and I may not do certain things like that, but I am cop on the inside, no matter what. I bleed blue. You always will too. So just because you don't actually go out, log into service and do stuff like that, doesn't mean that your time is over. It just means that you're doing something else now, and you've got a fantastic past experience and lots of things that are going to help you have a very successful future. Anyways, guys, if you would subscribe to the channel, definitely leave comments below. Let me know if you've rolled out of law enforcement, or if you're thinking about it. What's your situation like? What has worked for you? Let's share this information, and let's help our brothers and sisters in law enforcement, and let's show them that there is actually life after law enforcement.